Welcome once again, and now let's take you through the newspapers and share with you the major stories making headlines across Nigeria this morning. Joining us to discuss these issues is public affairs analyst Sesan Okunade. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. This is the first time we're saying this.
Yes, and another special good morning to you two for reasons that we can't discuss on camera. So I'm greeting you specially.
You are especially
I hope that you
recognized.
receive that special one.
I receive it specially, at least to start the year.
All right.
Okay.
We kick off on the Punch newspapers this morning. Let's see what we can find over there. It says there, bandits influx. Task force meets as Amotekun and police tighten southwest boundaries. It also says, your security chiefs hold closed-door meeting in Ibadan. Ondo, Oshun, and others review strategies. Also this morning on the Punch newspapers, Tinubu calls for Africa's unity. Obasanjo, Zuma attend Mahama's inauguration. Congratulations
to Ghana.
Second time that he's being president of Ghana.
And the one thing we can agree on is that the majority of the population seem to have wanted him. Of course, it feels like it was an election that reflected the will of the people. There's celebration across Ghana.
Absolutely. All right, PDP differs as Okweolu accuses two local government chairs of 12 billion naira diversion. Interesting. Romance scam. Two US-based Nigerians face 40-year jail term. And also stampede on his ex-queen and others allege illegal detention as Oyo opposes bail.
Wow.
A threat to life article, Labour Party carpet Tinubu, APC lampoons Peter Obi. And also tax reform, Northern elders and governors maintain opposition as senators lobby. These are the big stories that we can take this morning on the Punch newspapers. All
right, on this Nigeria newspaper, let's lift our nations out of poverty. Tinubu charges Mahama, says Nigeria, Ghana's bond can't be broken. New Ghanaian president promises to tackle corruption, debt, and unemployment. And on the front page, you can see a picture of Nyesom Wike and his son, Jordan, during the graduation of the son with a Master of Law from the university in the United Kingdom.
Oh, I thought he was going to go to Uniport.
I thought he would go to Delsu, the Delta State University for his master's. I'm really surprised that he went to the United Kingdom. Wow.
Not even Uniport. I mean, as a former governor of River State.
You understand? So even if he didn't want to use Uniport because he doesn't want to be too close to home, at least you can go to like Delsu, Abraka, or you go to Uniben. Or bad as bad, you come to Lagos and do Unilag.
As if they've done the work to make them go to that school.
This is really shocking.
It's a surprise.
But it's not only to him alone. We have a lot of people that they show this affluence to us day by day. You have past governors, the serving governors, they put it in the media for us to see.
Later, you'll be wondering why ASU is always on strike. Anyway.
They will always be on strike.
It's completely out of character.
They don't have any stake in it.
Yeah.
Completely out of character.
It's out of character. Normally, our Nigerian politicians, they are very passionate about education. Yeah. They would usually have their children schooling in Nigeria, university, secondary school, and their masters, even up to PhD level. They all do their treatments here in Nigeria. And moving on, the tax reforms bills disrupt January to December budget cycle, Senate panel chair argues. NDLEA arrested 18,500 drug traffickers in 2024, according to Marwa. FCT electricity consumers DERI planned power interruption. Okweolu, Edo, PDP, Bika, over alleged remittance of 12 billion naira by suspended local government chairman. That's all on this Nigeria. Let's get our final paper.
I think we can just squeeze in the Daily Times newspapers this morning. It says here, equities market index drops 0.24% as for 152 billion naira wiped off market value. You can see a very interesting picture there of President Bola Tinubu with the past president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, at the swearing-in ceremony of John Mahama as president of Ghana in Accra. Really interesting. You know, you would never see an outgoing president in Nigeria so gleeful and happy at the swearing-in of the incoming president. It's almost never going to happen.
Well,
except
to Jonathan.
Yes.
Jonathan was very diplomatic. He called Buhari to say congratulations.
Yeah, but that was just a phone call.
It was just a phone call, but
I don't remember if Obasanjo was at Yaradua swearing in. I think
even both of them are even party, even if they're the same party.
Yeah. Anyway, we can also find here Felix Morka's attack on Peter Obi signals APC authorization maybe you meant to say authoritarian government, says Atiku Abubakar. And also, police dismiss 1 constable, demotes 4 officers over misconduct in Bauchi. Nigerian Navy rescues 8 police officers and a civilian from capsized speedboat. Seems to be the Daily Times, somebody whoever is editing these stories. Retrenched CBN staff asks courts to award 30 billion naira compensation. Anyway, the major stories this morning are, I think I will start with the issue on the Punch. The task force meets as Amotekun and police tighten southwest borders. If you remember, Governor Seyi Makinde had raised the alarm of the possibility of bandits, coming into the southwest. It's not new. I think we've heard about this before, but the question really has been what must be done, and where are we with regards to preventing that from happening? Do you think those fears are even more legitimate now in 2025?
And this will take me back to that issue. This is the period that I give respect to the late Akeredolu. I'm sure you know he's the major champion and the backbone of this Amotekun while he was still governor and was still alive then. And I think his exit created a lacuna. A lot of us have actually said that we can't do the same thing the same way and expect different results. What do we mean by this? The policing of over 200 people is in the hands of very few at the center in Abuja. This administration, before they came in May 29, 2023, part of the things we were told is to bring in the issue of state policing, that they believed in it. And I saw Mr. President came out with some body language to show that this will be. But up till now, we've not actually had that constitution amendment to actually give power for state policing. But we saw this advent of regional policing came up while Akeredolu was governor and the chairman of the Southwest leaders then, where they had to push for this in order to actually close the gap of insecurity. Osaga, I need to let you know that if we must change the level of insecurity as we speak, we must give room for local policing, state policing, as is obtainable in the developed world. If you go to US today, you see the county police, you see the metropolitan police, you see the state police. At a particular time, if anything is happening, you see like overlapping people making themselves available, because security is very strategic and synonymous with prosperity. If an environment is secure, I can tell you for free, everybody wants to delve into that place. I'm sure you know that the northern region, the north, is the north where we have this insecurity prevailing themselves, has been a shadow of itself when it comes to business and development. A lot of people are leaving and migrating. Even now that they are putting pressure with the Lakurawa and the other people coming up, they are looking for other areas to settle. And this bold step, being carried out by Amotekun and other state governments, is to tell you that if the law is not coming up, can we write on what we have, the existing rule? I remember Amotekun patronize, going through Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And then you can see people having that confidence. The other time that they attacked at this Onigari along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the Amotekun was able to resort swiftly in, combating the act that those people have. And he also passed the message to those that want to come that there are people on the way. There was a time I was coming from Ibadan to Lagos, and there was an accident that happened. No security person, but the Amotekun were on ground to quickly rush in, even when individual could not go to that.
So why do you think that, all these things you're saying, they're not new? Everybody has been talking about it. We've talked about this over and over again. You've advocated for it. So why do you think state police has not yet officially kicked in?
Well, because we are politicizing it. I will say that here. We are politicizing it. People feel that you want to empower the state government. They will make use of this security apparatus during the election. And I asked, how often do we have election? Just once in every 4 years. And you think that once 4 years, we actually metamorphosed into creating insecurity for business growth.
It's a reflection of what I believe Nigerian politicians know. So they are aware that these institutions are weak and they can be used by anybody who has.
But what stops you of putting those rules, policy, follow through to make sure that you strengthen it?
No, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
If you strengthen them, that's not going to work for you, right? If the police and other security agencies know that they represent Nigeria, not the person who is president, then the president cannot wield them anymore and use them as a stick against, whoever he wants to. And so, because they all know that, so when they talk about state governors will weaponize them.
So it's like replicating what you have at the center to use against them.
They know.
But I think we need to have the orientation about that if things must go. If you look at this level of bombing, attack, some of these things happen in the local. I have a friend who has been to Zamfara. He said, even to Maiduguri. He said, Sesan, I'm in Maiduguri. I said, where you are is the heartbeat of the states. So nothing will happen. But go to the suburb. When you hear of attack in Kaduna, it's not the main Kaduna. During the time that people were talking about attack in Kaduna, left, right, and center, I was in Kaduna for like 2 weeks. And we go to club and leave club as late as 12 midnight.
Wow.
In Kaduna.
Wow.
Yes.
Mr. Okunade.
Because where we were was the heartbeat of Kaduna. So I asked myself at that point in time to say, where is the insecurity that they are talking about? You see some of this attack happening at the suburb, where we don't have the presence of the security agency.
This club, is it you will do like perimeter watch? Those are
the areas where we try as much as possible to balance some of the equations that we've had during the day and, reestablish those connections.
And your commander-in-chief approves of this?
It's, at times when we are there together, the commander-in-chief even make the provision for the funds to be used at that particular area.
Mrs. Okunade. Wow.
So we discovered that some of these things happen in the suburb, and that's why we are advocating to say, can we diffuse the power, empower the traditional leaders, empower the local government in such a way that when you have strangers, coming into your area, you're able to nip it. Okay, you're welcome to our area. What do you do? If you see any strange thing in an area where you don't see robbery happening, and two people suddenly come in and armed robbery start happening, you go and ask questions. Sorry, sir, we've not been seeing this happening in our environment.
Is that simple as more? I mean, the basics is if you look at those of us, like those people who live in estates.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the gates, estate security knows you. Yeah. If for some reason, maybe it's a gate, you need access and you are not able to get an access code, there is a recognition because they know you. It's when they don't know you, they're now putting out, there's somebody in the group, who is this person? So if you bring it to the grassroots level, as simple as
that's what we solve this problem that
again.
But if you continue with this,
I'm also worried because these are currently just fears. I'm not sure what information Governor Seyi Makinde has, or the rest of the Southwest governor leadership has. But if the Nigerian army has been struggling, against these bandits and whatnot for more than a decade, what is Amotekun going to do?
If not for anything, you have. I'm sure they are equipped, and your state is big, and I understand the fear of Governor Seyi Makinde. The last time I went as far as going to Shaki, where they have their boundary with other neighboring countries, not even states. And it's far. You can see vast land in that area where people can just stand, perpetrate evil. In fact, let me tell you, there are some areas on that particular road you struggle to have network. So you can imagine, it's huge. And those are areas where these miscreants, where these bandits, where these people have their settlement to perpetrate the evil that they want to do on people that are actually carrying out their businesses in that area. And that's why I'm of the opinion that if you can bring it to the locals, empower the traditional rulers to say, if your environment is not secured, it becomes a problem for you. And that on its own will be a threat to development in your locality. The local government knows that it is its own responsibility to make sure that its environment is secured. With that, you can now attract. When you say foreign direct investment, they are not going to go to Abuja. They are not going to come to Lagos. Some of the raw materials that these foreign investors need is in the suburb.
Yeah.
And when they don't have access to security, a lot of investment is now being put on them to secure themselves by saying you have to get the security apparatus before you can have access to some of the raw materials. And this on its own will in tune increase the cost of production of that organization. Yep. That's how it works.
All right. I want us to quickly touch on, I don't know if we ever discussed this with you, but Edo State, the sacking of the local government, or suspension of the local government chairman by the executive. The governor had said that they of course, hadn't given explanation for how funds was used. And the argument was that people would say, you are the executive, you are the governor, you should not have a right to sanction this local government chairman, that if at all it should be the councillors, to suspend them rather. It should be the councillors so that he's stepping out of his jurisdiction. But I don't believe we had the conversation with
No, we've not had that conversation, but my position on this is fine. The local government, with the autonomy that they have, they are not responsible to the governor. But one thing I always tell individuals is collaboratory. There must be this collaborative act between just the same way we have the governor and the federal government having an handshake in things that they do. We should have the same thing between the state and the local government. And what do I mean? If a local government is having unrest, the governor will not throw off his face and say he doesn't know anything about it. But I think the approach of this ego, trying to say I'm the leader, when you try to enforce yourself as the father of the house and you don't earn it, it becomes a struggle. And that's what we're saying. I see ego playing out there because even on the part of the local government, if you have a good relationship, nothing stops you as local government chairman to make, available some of these reports to your state governor to see how you are faring. But when there are issues where somebody feels that, who am I to report to you? I report to your boss. I'm responsible to my people to give account to the federal government. That's where you see some of these tussles. And that's why we keep saying that irrespective of what happened at the federal, at the state, at the local government, there must be this collaboration between them to know that they are there to serve the people. And when two elephants like them fight, it's the people that suffers. Now that they are on suspension, activities in those local government will definitely slow down if it is not completely grounded. So who are the people that are suffering? The state governor is not suffering. The local government chairman that has been suspended is still enjoying the largest of some of the things that he has in his custody. So it's the people that are actually having the failure of that governance. And that's why we call our leaders to order to say, you must collaborate, whichever level you see yourself. No one is bigger than the other, but put at the back of your mind the interest of the people that you serve, and whatever it will cost you to have good relationship and harmonious relationship, you just have to do it to make sure that the people enjoy the dividend of democracy.
Yeah. Just quickly on the response, I think Atiku Abubakar is the one who's carried the story. Threat to life, Atiku, Labour Party carpet Tinubu, APC lampoons Peter Obi. We did see the response from, APC representative somehow, to Peter Obi's New Year message.
Well, for me on this thing, I don't speak for politicians. They are same of the same. If it is other way around, you hear this thing. Even the man that is complaining about the threat to life, I know when he was governor, when some people will write, they will say, what I passed out yesterday, the people from the governor is threatening me. One thing you should realize about some of these things that goes on is that at times, the followers carry out the acts on behalf of their principals, even without the knowledge of the principal. We consider that as bad. Not even the major spokesperson or the likes. A lot of people will come and issue threat from left, right, center, forward, because everybody is protecting the interest of their principal and what they are all eating from it. So at times it's not from, you just say, federal government. So when you hear bars from here, you hear booze from here, and everybody's looking at it, you say, no, they're actually issuing threat. At times it's the followers. If it is other way around, we've seen instances that the current government, when they were not in power, when they come out, I've heard continuously that period, like Mohammed, they will come out and swear, and the next one he said, people are actually threatening my life. I need security.
I don't think Peter Obi said the federal government is threatening his life. I don't think that's what he said. He said he had received,
threats to his life.
But he didn't say.
And they said one Felix Walker had gone on, to speak about.
So for me, it's a normal thing for the politician, and it cut across all of them. it's coming from this side because they're on the other side.
Yeah.
If they're on the other side, you always hear the same story to say people are always issuing threats to their life for the statement that they
Yeah,
made.
we need to go. I remember former governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, had claimed back then that Goodluck Jonathan had invited a sniper team.
yeah, you understand. So that's how the politician makes use of some of these things.
Number 4, so on the kill list. All right, we need to go. Sesan Okunade, thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to start the
Welcome to the new year, and look forward to seeing you again. All right, we've had pretty interesting conversations this morning. Let's now move into sharing with you which way Nigeria before our final conversation this morning.